This particular story you really have to listen to because this one is an absolute mind bender. It really makes me believe that there's so much more to this life than just the physical world that we live in. This one takes reality and flips it up onto its head. Story goes, when I was about 19, 20 years old, my wife and I, we were living at my mother's house. It was Devil's Night, which is in Michigan. It's the night before Halloween, October 30th. It's late, it's maybe 11:30 at night. My wife and I don't know if we got into an argument or we got irritated with each other, just got on each other's nerves, I don't know, but I got frustrated and I needed to leave the house to blow off some steam or something. So I ended up going outside, and the outside of the house is about an acre of open land, sort of out in the country. Really eerie in this area. The whole time that we lived there, so many different things happened, like the TV in the road happened, and some other videos, if you keep watching, you'll see a lot of stuff happened at this house. 11 o'clock at night, it's pitch black out. I left and I went to just go lay flat in the grass. Just laid out there like this, trying to blow off some steam. And I'm staring at the sky, and I start challenging the devil. I start calling out to the devil. Almost like wanting to fight him. Like I'm even saying that in my mind, like let's go, come at me, bro. Like I'm wanting to like get rough. Like I was so mad, I don't know, and I just started to like, where you at? Devil's Night, where you at? Let's do this. Show me something. You ain't got nothing on me. I was King Kong, right? Needless to say, I scared myself to death and I ran back inside. And my wife and I, we made up and we spent the rest of the night hanging out and doing what we normally do. Well, tomorrow was Halloween and I had to work, and I got the funny idea to give myself a haircut. I was always giving myself haircuts because I couldn't afford professional haircuts. So I would always just like kind of shave my head, let it grow, shave my head, let it grow. Well, since tomorrow was Halloween, I decided to give myself a little bit of a funny haircut. And what I did was give myself a mohawk, but with two side mohawks. I've actually got a photo that we took of that time. The beard is fake because it went with my actual Halloween costume. But if you check this out, that is exactly what I looked like on Halloween day going into work. However, I was a little insecure and kind of embarrassed about myself. I didn't actually have the courage to show anybody what I did with my hair. So I wore my full Halloween costume, which was this Viking costume right there. And my wife was an elf, you can see. But I wore the full Viking costume at work the entire day. I had the helmet on with the horns, I had the long Jennifer Aniston wig, and I had the beard to give myself the Viking look. And I never took that helmet off because I didn't want anybody to see how ridiculous, like who does that? Who shaves their head like that? So I kept the helmet on the whole day. Now I'm making pizzas because I worked at Little Caesars, and I'm sitting there and I'm making pizzas. In walks one of the managers, and I want to save her name, so I'm going to call her Peach. And she walks in and doesn't say much to me, but I was already there. I was already like a couple hours into my shift. Never took that helmet off. She walks up to me, starts making, she punches in, starts making pizzas with me. And she goes, "James, I had the weirdest dream about you last night." And I'm like, all right, this should be good. The two of us were always cracking up with each other. She was hilarious. She goes, "No." She goes, "It was so real." I'm like, all right, well, hit me with it. What are you gonna say? I'm like, she says, "I watched you in a dark room shave your head." She goes, "But you shaved it here and here, and you left this and this." She goes, "And I watched you, and it was so real." And I was looking at her, and I'm like, you just got here. I did this last night, say 1 o'clock in the morning, and I showed nobody. Like, I worked the morning shift the next day, so I shaved my head, showered, went to bed, woke up, went to work, and I went to work like this, with that on. And she's like, "Yeah, I watched you in a dream shave your head doing," and she described exactly that. So it took me a minute. I'm sitting there looking at her going, "Who told you?" And she goes, "Who told me what?" I'm like, "How?" I'm like, because Erica doesn't talk to her. Erica doesn't even know her. And I didn't show anybody, so that, and there wasn't like Facebook and MySpace I think was around, but I don't even think I was messing with it at that point. So I like kind of baffled. I'm like, well, yeah, dude, I literally did that. And I pulled the helmet off, and her knees buckled, and she went weak, and she about like just collapsed to the ground. And we sat there kind of looking at each other like, what is happening? Like, what is happening right now? How does one leave their body and witness real life events in another place? How? It's a creepy house. It really was. It was a super creepy house. I leave on Devil's Night to go lay in the middle of the yard to challenge the devil to a fight. And then when I go back inside, another human being on planet Earth is having a dream of exactly what I'm doing inside that house. I don't really know how to end this video other than to say that it's just one of those mind-bending experiences that have really no explanation. But if you continue to watch all the videos that I post, you'll see the thread that's woven through each one and how each one leads to Jesus Christ. My prayer is that your mind and your heart will start to open up a little bit more and realize that we are spirits inside physical bodies. Our souls exist without this body. This is just a vehicle, and we continue on no matter what body we're in. The soul that we have inside is everlasting. And my prayer is that you draw closer to God, because He's here for you. He sees you. He loves you. He's always been there for me even when I didn't see Him. Thanks for checking out the Book of Wolf today.